You've heard it a million times, right? All the online gurus, they tell you the same thing. Just start a business selling a simple, cheap digital product. You know, a $97 ebook, maybe a template pack. They make it sound like this magical, easy path to passive income. But what if that advice isn't actually for your benefit? What if it's for theirs?
See, here's the thing. That low-ticket model, it works beautifully when you're selling the dream of online business to millions of people. It's how they get rich. But for you, the actual creator trying to build something real, it's usually a dead end. It's a volume game. And trust me, volume brings a whole world of new problems.
Because this is the part they just don't talk about. More customers at a low price point, it almost always means more problems. We're talking more support tickets, more refund demands, and way more of your precious time spent managing this high-volume, low-margin machine that just leads straight to burnout. So today, we're going to break down that trap. We're going to climb what I call the digital product ladder.
Okay, so let's start at the bottom, right? The foundation. These are the first few rungs of the ladder. They feel accessible. They feel safe. But this is also where the competition is absolutely insane, and it's exactly where most creators get stuck for good.
First up, Level 1, the Knowledge Blueprint. This is your basic ebook or your digital art. The beauty is, you make it once, you can sell it forever. The problem? The barrier to entry is so low that the market is just completely flooded. Then you have Level 2, the ready-to-use solution. Think Notion templates, social media kits. This market is huge right now. They're pretty low maintenance, but you still have to sell an absolute ton of them to make any real money. And finally, Level 3, the interactive classroom. This is your online course. Now, this is the first real jump in value. You can charge anywhere from $300 to even $2,000, because you're not just selling information anymore, you're selling a transformation. For a lot of people, this is the goal, but it's also where the path gets a lot more complicated.
And this is what I call the Great Divide. It's a fundamental shift in how you run your business. On one side, you have the low-ticket game. That's all about high volume, it's run by automated funnels and paid ads. You're basically renting an audience from Facebook or Google. But the high-ticket game, it's the complete opposite. It's all about building deep, real relationships with a much smaller group of people. It's about custom delivery and an audience that you truly own, like a dedicated email list.
So how do we get to the top of the mountain? How do we get to the summit? Well, levels 4 through 6 are where you stop just trading your knowledge for dollars and you start building true scalable assets. This is where the real leverage is.
Okay, so Level 4 is the community engine, your membership site. This is great because it gives you that predictable, recurring revenue, but man, it is high maintenance. You have to constantly deliver value or people are going to leave. Now, Level 5, this is where the game totally changes. You're building simple web apps, maybe some tools. You've officially moved from selling information to selling automation. And then there's Level 6, the peak, complex software as a service, or SaaS. Think about the tools you use every single day, like Slack or Netflix. This isn't just a product anymore, it's the ultimate form of scalable leverage.
But let's get real for a second about the cost of that climb. It is steep. Building what's called a minimum viable product, an MVP, for a Level 5 tool, that's just a super basic version to see if people even want it, that can run you $5,000 to $15,000. But to build a full-blown Level 6 SaaS platform, you are now looking at $60,000 to over $250,000. We're not just making a digital product here. This is a serious tech venture.
You'd think, right? With that kind of money on the line, with perfect code and a massive budget, failure would be, pretty rare. But here's the plot twist. Even with all that investment, these big, complex digital products fail a lot. And the reason why isn't what you think. It's not the tech. It's not the money. It's something else entirely. Get this. The failure rate is a jaw-dropping 70%. Just let that sink in for a second. 7 out of every 10 of these incredibly expensive, complex projects just completely belly flop. That tells you something really important. Success isn't just about building the thing right. There's a hidden threat that takes most of these projects down. And that threat is called the UX hidden tax. This is the crippling and usually invisible cost of a bad user experience. When your app is confusing or it just doesn't match how people actually need to work, they just leave. They abandon it. And your developers, they get stuck in this nightmare loop of endless rework and the support tickets just pile up. And here's the real killer. Fixing a core UX problem after you've launched can cost 100 times more than just getting it right from the very beginning. So if climbing straight to the top is that risky, what's the smart play? What's the solution? Well, you don't just climb the ladder, you build an entire ecosystem around it. You own it. The smartest strategy is something we call the hybrid offer.
It's how you connect the bottom of the ladder to the top without falling off. Here's exactly how it works. You start by using your level 1 and 2 products, your cheap ebooks and templates, not to get rich, but to test out ideas and capture leads for next to nothing. Then you take the most interested people from that group and you graduate them to your level 3 course. This is where you qualify them, you educate them, you really build that relationship. And finally, you take your absolute best, most successful clients from that course and you upsell them into your high-ticket level 6 platform. See what's happening? Each level pays for and de-risks the next one. It's brilliant.
So let's quickly recap the absolute non-negotiables for scaling safely. First, you have to own your audience. Do not build your castle on someone else's land, like a social media platform you don't control. Second, always test your big ideas with a small, simple version first to make sure people actually want it. And most importantly, please remember this. User experience isn't just about making things look pretty. It is the fundamental architecture of your product. If you get that wrong, you will pay that hidden tax.
And speaking of building things that last, the actual rules of the game are changing under our feet. For example, there's a new law in California that's challenging the entire idea of digital ownership. It raises this huge question. If you can't guarantee someone access to a product forever, can you even legally say that they bought it? This isn't just some legal footnote. This cuts right to the heart of the trust and the relationship you have with your customers.
And all of this leaves us with the single most important question you have to ask yourself. As you're building your products, as you're climbing this ladder, is the digital empire you're creating actually built to last? Because it's not just about what level you're selling at anymore. It's about whether the strategic, the technical, and now even the legal foundation you're building is strong enough to survive